So it's Michael Shuldham here from NPZ UK. We're here at this cereal stand and I'm just going to walk through a few of our spring bean varieties we've got here, talk a little bit about what we've got, what we should be looking at achieving with them for end market uses, or why we should be growing spring beans in general. So first variety I'm stood with here is Lynx, well known in the market, market leading variety. I can see it's absolutely buzzing with bumblebees in this early evening. So popular because of the downy mildew resistance and the consistent yields we've had. Right next to it, we've got Genius, which was brought into the market 2 years ago. Now it's starting to really become a popular variety. Where this differentiates from Lynx is that it has a bigger seed size. So in those human consumption markets where they're looking for bigger beans, but even in animal feed, the bigger bean is better, especially if you're dehulling it. You've got less hull to lose, so keeping a bigger cotyledon. So Genius also good downy mildew resistance, top of the PGRO descriptive list, and will be a variety that people are starting to see a lot more regularly as it shares some market share with Lynx. We've got a really interesting variety here in Yukon, and you can see it's got a different coloured flower there. It's a yellow flowered type. So Yukon is a really early maturing bean. We would look at it in Yorkshire, you could be looking at 2 weeks earlier harvesting, which when it comes to getting the crop off and the wheat in afterwards is a very useful trait to have. What this variety also has is a really, really high quality seed. So for human consumption markets, again, if that's what you're growing for, really need to be considering this. The size of the grain, as well as the pale colour, almost a little bit greeny in colour, is what human consumption markets, especially the export market, really want to see. And the last thing to say about this one is its downy mildew tolerance is really, really strong. And if you look through the crop, it's really clean here as well. So yeah, for northern growers, high downy mildew areas, or if you're growing for those specific human consumption, it really should be considered. Next to that one, we've got another variety that's interesting for its end market availability. So this is a low vicine and convicine spring bean. Now, it's still a spring bean, you treat it the same, you grow it the same, and it meets all of the same market requirements as all the other spring beans. The benefit with this one is that if you're feeding into monogastrics, we've actually massively reduced the amount of low vicine and convicine that's within the cotyledon. Because they're anti-nutritional, they would cause poorer pig carcasses. In laying hens, there would be fewer and smaller eggs if you were feeding high vicine and convicine. So these varieties mean that the performance of those monogastric animals can be improved. So when we're looking at directives like reducing soya imports, then this type of variety can come to the fore and increase the amount of homegrown protein. So really exciting concept to keep an eye on as those markets are really starting to emerge now. And as I said previously, the end users are all still there, which is a great thing. You're still growing spring beans and the variety is just as high yielding, sits right up there on the PGRO descriptive list as well. And next to that one, we've interestingly got an older variety from us. We're saying about seed size and people, or the end market, human consumption, wanting large spring beans. We bred this variety and found out that we'd managed to go too big, and it was actually impossible to get it through a drill in enough quantity when you were needing to drill sort of over half a tonne a hectare. So it's a variety we're no longer promoting, but just shows the depth of our breeding portfolio, what we can do with different quality attributes. And finally, next to that we have a new variety that's going through national list testing at the moment. This is another high yielding type with good resistance to downy mildew. So it's a bit of a wait and see, and just know that other stuff is coming behind those major varieties that are in the market.